Stoker out here talking about sharps. Now, he's a good way to do it.
Alright, welcome back to the channel, friends. As always, man, I'm super stoked and pumped up to see us. So Stoker here, and today we're going to continue on our section of going over
again, I like Stoker for a couple
board
reasons, and if I may, for board, over at our militia, it's hard to do this, but we'll get all kinds of mean machine footage of Cruz out there slipping his willy to the secretary to get commissary and lunch. It's energy transmission. It's commissary. It's when you're dealing with commissary from a guard, it's sharps. It's promotion, pause.
That a lot of times, you know, when we're giving sharp classes, you know, we talk a lot about doctrine, but we don't always think about what the questions might be. Right, so as we get going, I'm going to ask you a question, and I'll pause for a second. That way you can pause the video if you want to. And then you can say your answer, and then you can unpause it, and I'll tell you what the answer is.
The energy transmission is a Perkins PowerPoint presentation for tread docks in multi-domain battlefield.
So this is one of the ones that has a really long answer. I mean, look at that, right? That is the answer right there. By the way,
I'm the problem, I'm the thing. It's a very long character card to put together, motion and spin, position. But what it says is show that every positive integer, we're both positive integers. We both believe in the Army Constitution, promotion board, sharp stuff. So we have that in. There's a number for it. Whatever board after I got there. That's what's so hard. It's in superposition. I got most of the footprints around here.
Minimizes sexual assault incidents which impact Army personnel.
We are dealing with bar, sharps. No offense, we're going to put it up on there. We can erase it later. We can put a thing up in there or whatever you want. That's the kind of thing Sharp kills you for, because Jowl's just in that pocket a little too long. Okay, so X we have is prime bar. He is a Sharp's promotion board. That is what prime is. It is in the X, N1, all of those positions, regardless of what their orientation are, because he was one day Y, coming into X to change these numbers over by how that division works. 2 over 3 or 3 over 2. They're different in the way that house dogs can walk up to people, but a wolf will piss itself when in a group. Now, a house dog has no problem, but in the field, obviously, we know some differentials of what it is. I'll do that alpha particle up there. Now, in itself, you can assist, you can alpha, beta, you can do things, and that's what all this is about right here. The whole thing in brackets first, and then parentheses first, which one's first? It's in order of how that's described. You'll remember that order is going to come up again like computer programming, ones and zeros. 2 grades are the same thing, more units than just a handful, a lot of people that you got, what's coming for the board and how many positions. We don't know that yet. We don't know that yet. And you do that, you trick that question by doing this. I'm ready to throw in a type of number that we can understand inside of there that doesn't cheat gravity. We're not trying to force the equation. We're not trying to over-project the time numbers. It's a harassment against time. So you do these while talking about a person, an officer. You could take it to the devil's advocate of the real-world terracotta army, and it's usually what they don't talk about. Why the militia version isn't taking care of BAH this way. It's the same thing and very different.
Next question is, what are the different categories of sexual harassment?
Sometimes you'll catch a partial derivative instead of this. It means, like, when I'm writing out the equation, I don't know that part of it. It is mutually exclusive in terms of the combination, function, permutation. So what I'm doing is an F equals NM in parentheses, and it's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S, N, M, O, P. I'm doing N from my perspective, but he is equally at the same time first. NM. I can't break the timeline here. I couldn't if I wanted to. He's going to keep plowing through with no adjustment inside here. And it's like watching a math teacher, or you ever watch drill sergeant, man, I know how to do this. It's kind of one of those things. That's okay. It's within the spectrum of, as long as you don't physically IH in some bunny way, that gives you heat on the pipes.
Next question is, what are some
As you read these
examples
out,
of
as you write these out,
nonverbal
hopefully you'll take
sexual
your time
harassment?
with it, and you'll
So
see
nonverbal sexual
how you're
harassment,
going to
again,
use
this is
this on
another
your
one
boot
that's
camp.
listed
Where
in
did I see a
6.
derivative like that? Why did I change
Staring
it?
at
I
someone,
did.
blowing
We don't need
kisses,
nuclear
winking,
fusion.
licking
Hydrogen
one's
wave function is
lips in a
something we can
suggestive
build
manner,
to.
displaying
What
sexually
we
oriented
need
pictures or cartoons,
on Sharps
sexually
Maths
oriented
to board
screensavers,
presentation.
sexually
Hey, get
oriented
it in
notes,
Energizer
letters,
Bunny.
faxes,
Put
or
it,
emails.
put it in
So
the
as we're thinking
Energizer
about
Bunny.
this,
It's
again,
a
it's just nonverbal.
arrow,
Just think
wave
about
function,
nonverbal
pens
ways that
row.
somebody could be
This is
sexually
heavy.
harassed.
This is heavy, but I'll show it to you easy because it's battery. This conversation is that too. It's the
Winking, it's nonverbal.
MMA of the
Doing,
octagon pentagons version. I'll do it again. The second we're done with it again, it'll happen again.
electronic means,
Tyson, the race to beat Tyson or the Turk in
what happens when a sexual
Punch Out, right?
What happens
World
when
record
a
holder
hostile
for
environment
42 seconds on Glassjaw Joe. That's
So a
not.
hostile environment
It's like when
is
sharps
somebody
see that,
who's
it's
subjected
I
to
shouldn't have had you for a
unwanted,
mission. I'm taking you out of the garden. You're not
behaviors
allowed to
and
grow
comments.
corn no more. You show them how to do it. And that's
What are the
usually
5
if
techniques of dealing
some
with sexual harassment?
firstie or gunnery sergeant catch you by the
Such
ear
as
like that and
direct,
drags you
indirect,
out.
third-party chain of command.
That's this part,
filing
and there's a
formal
very specific
complaint.
reason for it. And that's what
So
they're
now
trying to
we'll
show
move
us
on
in here, but
into
it's broken.
situational
It's not the right
questions.
alphabetical. It's not the right
So you're
number
preparing to
because
go
it
to
can
the
never be
field,
that right
right?
alphabetical
I will say
number.
that, this may apply to
In a
some
perfect
units,
world,
may not
it's an
apply to others.
infinite clip. And it's not.
And you have 1/10 for your team.
The salty rabbit stew
Team is
recipe
composed
tonight
of
means
4
we're making it out of
females
iguanas
or 4
and
males
anything
2
else.
females. It doesn't matter what.
But it is.
We get 6
The
soldiers
people
on
will
the
start
team,
kicking later
4 males, 2
about
females.
what the extruder
How-
presses were,
what is
trajectories
your
we
response? How are
went,
you gonna prepare
who
to
had
do
the
this?
compass.
You see, I think some of us are approaches are very.
I put
adverse
Stoker in. I
to
put
risk.
myself in it a
We may
bunch.
say, oh my gosh,
This
we
key
can't do this.
extruder, you put pH here, you just
Um,
change it.
And
The
some may
acid
say,
and
hey, it's no big deal. Just get in there.
mallow gears,
Be square.
mallow cup factory. And again, as you
However
rate
you
out
choose
these
to
things, I
respond.
want you to really understand. I'm playing a heavy game
No, it
here.
needs to be consistent.
Very heavy game. It looks like it's
it needs
just
to be
geometry charts
safe,
or a
ethical,
chart that you would need
just.
for your ASVAB or board
So
promotion
maybe
test.
your response is to hang a poncho.
We will get
Like
back into
provide
Alice and
some
Bob.
level of privacy.
I like this to happen like this because it's the real. The second time you
And
see
you
it,
wouldn't be
because I
wrong
watched
in
my own
outsourcing.
videos in the mill of me making mistakes,
Because
couldn't
again,
understand the
you just gotta be
tractor
careful
force
because you're
and the
gonna-
gear.
you could be
Man, it
thinking
feels
down a
like you're
rabbit
grinding all
hole
day,
that
but from
you
the
can't get
overhead,
out
the
of.
safety
Right, so
officer
next
guy
time
looks
you're
at you and it's
conducting
just like,
initial
man.
counseling
It's like,
session
meanwhile, I'm
with folks,
negotiating the
how
civilian
do you
line.
explain the Army's
military
SHARP
crest.
program? Right? How do you explain this to them?
Well, you make sure you give it to the promotion board there. What is true about F and
So
N
you
in
think about how
here
to answer that,
for
it's
one of
really
these
all of those,
circumstances
initial
is
questions
that we have to be able to make that congruent to what happened here, what's on the outside of it there, what was over here, who could hit it next.
And then last up,
Blow it up for you.
a situational question for you is: a soldier tells you that they were
Oh.
sexually assaulted.
Here it tells me about
What is
percentages.
your response?
It could be a delta.
So
Actually, I
again,
think this
in
one is
thinking of
depending
previous
on
answers and how are we going to deal with
how
this,
they're throwing
we're
it at
just-
you.
we're
Now
gonna
again,
click back up
obviously,
to,
totally gnarly, and I want it to be before you
goals
go
of
through
the
the
SHARP
rabbit
program.
hunt of trying to figure it out. This is not. A
You're
luxury
gonna
gave
ensure
it
that
to
your
you,
climate
and still
encourages
you're gonna
victims
have to.
report
If you miss
and
steps,
that they don't have fear.
Sharp's
You're
gonna.
going to ensure that
they're gonna-
that soldier
we
gets
do
comprehensive
this
treatment to
this
restore
way
their
too.
health and well-being. Right? That
So,
was goal number 4.
Something I want to represent inside here.
Of course, you need to make sure that you
Catch you on the next
escort the soldier